And live.
Welcome back to Fight for Blight.
Hi, welcome to Fight for Blight.
Did you just say welcome back? We just started.
But here last week, so welcome back.
Touche. Alright, hello and welcome to Fight for Blight session. Let's, since we had last week off, go quickly through the lineup and see how each of the players are doing. Vieric, how was your couple weeks?
It was cool. Had a nice few days or whatever. Relaxed a little bit, tried to unwind.
It's good. Cryptilly, how about you?
My week's been pretty good. Busy at work, but besides that, everything's pretty good.
Dope. Just Stalin?
Went down to South Beach in Miami. It was exhausting but fun. A lot of new experiences. So I went parasailing and felt brave for that.
See a bunch of sharks in the water?
Nah, but we went to the Everglades, so I saw plenty of alligators.
You went parasailing in the Everglades?
Parasailing and the Everglades.
Oh, I was about to say, you're fucking crazy.
No. I'm
I'll
not
take
that
my
foolish.
risk at sea. Fuck that.
No, yeah, fuck that indeed.
Okay, well, I'm glad you had fun. May, how about you?
Yeah, it's been great. Went to the beach for literally before 9 a.m. till after 3 p.m. on last Monday. But allergies have been kicking my ass, so that's why I may sound a little different.
Yeah, I tried to give you guys like some free avocado, and then you basically told me to just throw it away.
Wait, who said that?
See, it's Cryptilly lying?
I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
What'd you say about packaged avocado?
I mean, I personally don't like packaged avocado, but I don't think I ever told anyone to put. Listen. Were you talking with me, Kyle?
Long story short, I basically said, hey, I have some of this avocado that I had got from HelloFresh. I had already used a good chunk of it. I'm not gonna eat it all before it goes bad. Do you want it? And then Cryptilly was like, nah. And I was like, well, I'm just gonna throw it in the trash. And he's like, nobody wants it. I was like, okay.
Look, it's like, I feel the same way about mangoes from the store, okay? Like, I don't want
to
mangoes.
justify it, was just funny.
As opposed to mangoes from where?
A tree.
From a tree, friend.
The tree, wherever those are.
Yes, it's called South Florida or the Caribbean, if you should be so lucky.
I haven't seen them since I was in Malawi.
Oh, jeez.
Deprived.
Adachi,
Anyway.
save us from this.
I'm literally praying. I'm trying to take the kids for a visit to my parents during mango season specifically, so that they get a chance to taste mangoes from a tree.
Dope.
And you can't even bring them back though. Right?
Yeah, we can. It's Fort Lauderdale.
Then yeah, bring them back some. But
It's
I thought you were
mango
talking about the
season,
Caribbean.
baby. Nah, dog. I mean, Fort Lauderdale is the Caribbean. Kind of.
I'll give you that. Adachi, how was your couple weeks?
It was good. I just got back from the beach. I don't know. I spent 3 days, not a whole full day because little kids don't last that long at the beach, but just so tan, just super, super tan, which is definitely not true because I'm so white, but didn't get that sunburnt, so it was good. It was relaxing.
Being sunburnt does not sound relaxing, but, to each their own.
I wasn't sunburnt. I got the 100 SPF on. I was saying I didn't. For me, a good beach day is not getting super sunburnt. There's no chance of tan, but my freckles do get a little darker, so that's about all I got going for them.
Word. And Crix, how's your couple weeks?
It's pretty good. I went to a cookout. There was some dope-ass potato salad there. That's really about it.
There were peaches in a can and mangoes
They
from
were
the
put there
store.
by a man.
Such a... I don't know who else knows about that song, but it's a weird one.
I will never miss a chance to reference that song.
And potato salad joke from inside joke from Thursday. Shout out. So who would like to do the recap? I know that it normally goes super well for you guys. So with having last week off, it might be a good refresher for those who don't pay too much attention to those notes. Do I need to pick a volunteer?
Oh, yes, please pick someone.
Just all in. You give the recap.
Damn you,
Best of
but
your-
I'll try.
The best of your ability, and then everyone can kind of pipe in and add details, I'm sure.
So we're making our way back to Blight, and then Ohane, she ends up contacting Adachi. I'm drawing a blank. I did not study like I wanted to. But I know we want to urgently make our way back. I know the cats, they went hunting, and then they ended up getting into like some type of altercation. But we were unable to find out exactly what that altercation was in between.
We get very close to Blight right before nightfall, and we have like a pretty extensive debate whether or not we want to like rush home and push through and sort of be exhausted by the time we get there. But we decide to. Adachi sends Little May with a note, and after an hour, Little May seems to have, well, she vanishes, or her connection with Adachi vanishes. So either she's met a bad fate or something. But in any case, we decide to hunker down and not risk being exhausted when we get home. Oh, and during the last watch, May and Stalin witness another thunderous bang and a green flash in the sky in the direction of the Stokeland Mountains. Same kind of meteor Cryptili saw.
Yeah,
And
with a
we're,
different color. I think last
yeah.
time it was purple, I believe.
Yeah, this time it's green. And like some sort of shockwave of snow like hits our camp and wakes everybody up. We break down camp and rush home. We make it home. Our father, the king, welcomes us home and says, we have an issue at hand. And basically, he's saying that North Point is, like, the people of North Point are up in arms and rebelling against the king over there. And the council is trying to decide on what to do.
And this
Also-
isn't the first time that happened. Oh, my bad.
Oh, it's fine. Also, we were told that we had about a week until we were supposed to go to Exarch's stronghold to escort Lady Faye back to here. But in the meantime, I think we had come to a decision that within that week we were going to go and try and make friends with the Kobold and get back in time to go to the stronghold.
The Knolls, you mean?
The Gnolls, yeah. I always want to call them Kobolds, sorry.
I think the same thing.
If it makes you feel any better, I wrote it, and sometimes I call him Kobold, so... like...
Other than that, there was just a lot of talking and planning for how we were going to go about these tasks.
I would like
Yeah.
to just point out real quick before continuing those notes. At first, yes, the father did say about a week, but then double checking his notes, went over and did say he misspoke, and it would be like somewhere between a week to 2 weeks.
So we have a little bit more time than we thought.
Yes, but I'm sure when you guys are like writing down notes and stuff like that, when I make a correction, it's hard to adjust it if it's needed. But I did want to point that out because that was a mistake on my behalf. Other than that, continue.
What else do we really have going on?
There was a good bit of debate about what we should do because Lord Grimhearth was asking us how we would choose to go about the civil unrest. And
Oh
a few
yeah,
of us had
Vieric.
different opinions on it. So whether it was diplomacy or to show more show of force, some people thought that would be a better method.
And I think our plan was kind of to split the difference and get the gnolls on our side to fight the gnolls up. Yeah, they are gnolls. The gnolls up north, and have that be a show up force to bring Northport more in line, because then there would be fewer gnolls that they had to deal with.
Yeah, something like that. And we had to convince our father, who is very reluctant, but he agrees, but with the condition that we can't use any like official resources to try to work with the gnolls. So we have to gather whatever it is that we need on our own.
Yeah, this is an independent operation.
And also, either way, Leo is supposed to be sent to North Point so that he can try to use diplomacy, but he'll have a force behind him just in case they need to establish some form of siege. Regardless of what we do, I think.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I think those last little bits noted covered up the last things that I had. So, quick question before we get into tonight's game. What is the last experience update you all have? Mine is at 2,821.
That's what I have.
Same.
Yep.
Okay, cool. Just wanted to make sure that I had that correct. And then with that, we will begin tonight's game with this. Continuing our story on April 23rd, year 1101, it is getting fairly late into the evening hours, with each of you venturing in and around the city of Blight. Some of you are a bit more successful in what you had set out to accomplish earlier in that day. With the sun beginning to make its way down, and the snow beginning to fall slowly, as it does at the start of each night, you each see the warmth of your breath with each exhale. Can each of you give me a perception check? At this point, still spread about the city of Blight, not together. So I'm sure Cryptilia is probably distracted with the aspects of explaining to Vieric exactly what went wrong in their feats of the attempted Robin Hood from stealing from some of the city of Blight and then using it as resources to help the gnolls. However, as Vieric stares off, And Crix, with you going just to buy as much like cheap meat as possible, being out on your own, having a moment to just think things through to yourself with your plan. Crix and Virik, both of you notice as the sun is heading down and just passing the city walls. Off to the west, where the Stokelet Mountains lie, the purple hue is noticed to be spread from the Stokelet Mountains down to the south and also up to the north as far as your eyes can see. The purple hue hardly noticeable on the horizon's front as it is barely peeking over the city walls.
Well, I'll have to tell my siblings about that.
I'm gonna look at Creep Tilly and say, "Sister, did you see that?"
See what? Do you not understand what I'm telling you?
That's not important right now. What's important is there was a. Never mind. Let's go back and talk to the others.
Crix, since practically everybody is separated, a couple of groups here and there, with you on your own and having the plan to buy some of the cheap meat as we had discussed in our previous session, did you land on a more specific plan or anything of that manner? And if there's anything that you'd like to RP, of course, feel free.
Basically my whole plan was to secure meat, so I'm just going to wherever I think is cheapest, and I'm gonna load up on a bunch of cheap meat that's gonna be put towards our offering. We can RP it if you want, but I'm gonna get a bunch of cheap meat. Probably too much.
Okay. At the moment, I do believe you were instructed to go to the Sailor's Nook Inn, if I'm not mistaken. But nonetheless, the place does not matter. You can find the cheapest price of meat. You've been born and raised in the city of Blight. You know this city like the back of your hand. You can accomplish this with no issue. At the tavern, you will be offered chunks of meat, varying in price from 1 to 3 silver pieces. And can you also roll me another perception check, please? All right. Yep, right here's all we got. This one. A little bit of fish. 1 pound for 1 silver. You can have the fresh elk. 3 silver for 1 pound.
3 silver for 1 pound on the elk?
He'll nod yes.
Alright, I'm gonna need 10 gold's worth.
Davey! We're gonna need a lot of paper. Got a lot of wrapping to do. Grab the twine.
And I don't particularly care how it's butchered, but I would like it to be as portable as possible.
Bone
Mainly,
in or out?
Bone in is fine.
Easy.
Just make it so it's stackable and or packable. I'm gonna be moving a lot of it, obviously.
With that amount of gold, gonna need a few hours to get it prepared.
That's fine. I'll be back later to pick it up.
Alright. And that will be accomplished. Again, it just will take a bit of time. It's, you know, to package and prepare meats and making it with your instructions with being able to be extra stacked and packed kind of thing, they will follow those instructions accordingly.
Perfect. Thank you.
Just double checking, Adashi, when you have the spells that you're looking at, that you went to Ohan in order to learn. Of course,
Yep.
like I said, I PM'd you that. Just you have to let me know what you're kind of going for. At this point, like everyone has essentially left you alone for roughly about 4 hours. So if there's anything in that time frame,
Yeah, I think just I wasn't sure if it was a full day we were spending in Blight or if it's only 4 hours. I think it would just be as much time he can spend getting new tattoos as possible. He would, whatever that translates to, on a
okay.
spells learned.
Yeah, no problem. So I mean, like I said, just let me know what spell you're going for, and then we'll, correlate the time according. At the moment, like I said, it's just only been 4 hours since everyone had left just before noon to set out while you learn spells.
Yeah, I think they were all second level. I don't know. Are those the same time, or do some spells have different times based on?
Well, I mean, there's a couple things that it's based on.
Okay.
Obviously, like your subclass negates like a little bit of the time. Meaning, or I guess like your school, I should say, not your subclass, but your school from your wizard. And then, I mean, obviously the level, but like you said, they're all the same level.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just PM you, I guess, a priority list, and you can tell me how many I get to learn.
Perfect. May, just Stalin, each of you had gone out. May, you were in hopes to find something to kill, to hunt. Unfortunately, being unsuccessful, just Stalin tagging along, looking to help, but being a bit more focused on finding some juniper berries. These fairly bluish color berry, a little bit of like a darker tone that looks to be on a bit of a pine branch. But as I said, you being unable to find anything, and then you, May, that is, when each of you came back, May, you had purchased a few rations that you and just Stalin split the price on. So, just double checking, with that in mind, does everyone wish to head back to the castle and reconvene at this point, from it getting fairly late in the day?
Can you just remind me how many rations I purchased?
No. Not
Okay,
because
no,
I don't wanna, because I don't remember.
no worries. I think that we distributed them. I know that I definitely wrote down how much gold I paid, and I believe everybody got 5 rations.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to. I definitely deducted the gold though, or whatever
Okay,
we
so if it's five rations, and per person, that was 25 rations.
Maybe it was 4 rations.
Well, then it'd be 20, but they were 5 silver apiece.
Yeah, you know what? I'm pretty sure we said at the end of the last game, like, hey, this is how many rations you have, so no worries.
Well, I mean, we can call it 25.
I think it was because for some reason, I feel like I had 2 rations left, and then I added 5 because I have 7 now. Unless that sounds suspect for some reason, but I have 7 in
No,
my inventory.
to me it makes. I mean, maybe it's just me and like OCD wise, but if I had 5 people in the party, I'd probably buy 5 rations apiece. If I had like 4
Right.
people, I'd probably buy 4 a pop. But, you know, OCD, so that's just me.
Plus the kitties.
Well, you have to... That's separate food. For, like the raw meat and stuff like Crix had purchased. But you've been letting them hunt, so... Or feeding them the meat from your rations. So they've been fairly well taken care of, for that manner. But then with that, since Adachi finally sent his answers, with each of you making your way back, Adachi.
Yep.
So as you bring up your spell request to Ohan, she will say, well, what is it that you wish to accomplish with this feat?
I guess I just want to have be more useful to my siblings. I think this one he kind of pulls out a scroll. It looks like it actually reflects the light some way, so you can't be seen. Is that something you could teach me, or you think a tattoo could help with?
I don't think it's wise for you to find yourself so close. You should use your older brothers for the protection and assist them from afar.
Oh, yes, of course. But I was thinking that perhaps if I could learn to, cast this on myself, perhaps I could find a way to transfer the magic. I mean, could you imagine just Stalin, if no one can see him, just think about the damage he could do. Or Virik, up in a vantage point and just shooting from above. I think it would really help my siblings if I could, learn this ability, mostly for their help, but on their behalf. And I think Adachi will get a little more serious too when he say, and just in case things don't go as planned, I could always use this power to make sure that Virik gets out alive. He is the heir to our family, so if he can be invisible, perhaps he could escape and let the family know of our fate.
Well, as I have explained before, the ink is running a bit low, but Weedix has come across a bit more. Perhaps it's best that you learn to do this on your own. With things becoming more of an issue with North Point, I'm afraid my time may be scarce.
Scarce as in just less available? Or you sound kind of
Virtually
ominous, Ohan.
non-existent, I would imagine.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I'd love to learn.
Well, then with what you're looking for taking quite a bit of time, how about we just go over a few steps in learning the process? Of course, it might be difficult for you to accomplish this in spaces you can't see, but keeping them small and easy to reach places might be beneficial for practice.
Got it.
Can you go ahead and give me an Arcana check? And Cryptilly, if you just want to purchase some rations, just how many ever rations, and then I'll tell you the price.
Of course. Adachi takes out a dagger and just starts is about to stab himself in the leg.
Immediately, Owen's like, "Now with the dagger!"
Oh, I'm sorry. I
hands you a needle and begins to assist in the process. And with your check, it's going to take a bit more time for sure. Can you roll me a d6?
Yep.
150 silver. Cryptilly. And on that note, I don't understand why you can't grasp this concept. Here, I'll prepare a bit of an instruction manual for you in the morning. You're going to need quite a bit more practice. Don't use this ink. Instead, just use this one. It will fade in a bit of time. But this one is the magical one. And as she holds them up, you can see one being a variant of colors when she's saying like the magical one, the vial clear, and you can see the ink just changing colors: red, green, blue, yellow, purple, pink, black, white, just various amounts. And then the other vial she holds up, the ink just remains black.
Thank you, Lady Owen. I apologize for taking so much of your time. I promise I'll practice. I'll stay up all night if I have to. Yeah, I can read this. Yeah, whenever your instruction manual's done, I'll read it over and over again every night. I promise. And then Adachi will start heading out, and as he's about to head out, he'll turn around and just say, "Oh, by the way, did you happen to did Little Maid visit you by chance? Did you get a letter from us earlier
No.
in the last? Oh, huh. Guess I should check with the guards to see if they happened to shoot her down. She had a letter to you and didn't quite make it to the wall. I'll investigate. And thank you again for your time. And then he will leave.
All right. Well, with the amount of time needing to spend, you, Adachi, will have about an hour, roughly, before each of your siblings begin to return to the castle, one by one, just a few moments after one another. Cryptilly arriving with Vieric, May arriving with just Stalin, and then Crix arriving alone. But each of you again back together at your home, back at the castle.
Did anybody else see that streak in the sky?
I saw it as well. Although I could barely see it from my vantage point, but it was definitely there.
Wonder what that was about.
What color was it this time?
Purple, right?
Yeah, it was purple. Maybe we should report it to Father?
Of course, but I'm wondering why these colors are not consistent. At least not completely.
Something strange is definitely going on.
Should we change our mission? Perhaps we should investigate the Stokelands instead of deal with these gnolls?
I think we report it and let Father determine it.
Plus, I don't know what good all this meat I bought will do when we go to the mountains.
I was thinking the same, brother.
We could always freeze it.
Let's go speak with Father then.
So each of you are going to make your way into the throne room to speak with your father?
Sounds about right.
Yep.
Yes, let's speak with him. Let him know about what you all saw. And then if we're ready to head out, maybe we can inform him that we'll be on our way in the morning. If he decides that he will take care of that.
Well, as each of you make your way into the throne room, the sconces still lit, candles, chandeliers, everything giving off a good amount of light. Making your way a bit more forward, you see the tapestry still hanging. You see that it's been restored just slightly, however, needing quite a bit more work. Looking around, no one, well, I'll just say it like this. Your father is not to be seen. He is not here.
This is kind of odd.
Well, Lyric, what do you think we should do?
Somebody around here has to know where he is, so I say we start asking questions.
Now, as much as we know our dad, how often is he in his bedroom?
Not very. He usually retires pretty late in the night, and he's up fairly early in the morning. I mean, as elves, don't need that much time of rest.
Yes, yes. I just wanted to make
Why
sure.
don't we rest and talk to our father in the morning before we head out?
Sounds good to me as long as we get it done.
Yes, I don't see why this can't wait until the morning. Um, I'll make my way out, and I'll say my prayers if we decide that we're going to wait until the morning, and then I'll go to bed.
I
Yeah.
would just
She would. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say Crix would make his way to his quarters and prepare to meditate for the night.
Adachi would stop by Ohan's and see if she has that instruction manual ready for him, since it's been about an hour. If not, he'll check back in the morning.
It's going to take some time. I'll have it prepared for you in the morning.
Oh, sorry. Yes, my apologies again. Just really ready to learn. He closes the door and like awkwardly runs away.
Okay. So then, with each of you retiring for the night, if ever that is agreed upon, you can complete your short rest, moving you to April 24th, I think it would be. All right, so going once, twice, 3 times. All right. Short rest complete and moving into the morning of April 24th. As each of you, well, except for just Stalin, begin to break out of your trance and your bits of meditation, feeling a bit more rejuvenated after the night. Just Stalin waking up and kind of strolling out of bed, stretching a little bit after lying still for so many hours, but definitely a bit more comfortable than sleeping out in a sleeping bag out in the snow. Much more warm, much more comforting. When each of you begin to make your way out, can you each roll me initiative?
What?
Wait, without clicking the tokens? Because I'm so used to like screwing that up.
Yep, just right now, just roll a normal initiative. All right.
Way to go, me.
So, Adashi, May, Greptilli, each of you make your way out virtually at the same time. May, Greptilli, can you give me a perception check? Greptilli, as you exit your room, Adashi closes the door behind himself with a bit of a wide smile on his face. You see this piece of parchment pinned to his door.
I'll step over and reach the parchment.
Reading over, you see the title, Tattooing for Dummies, Instructions for Adashi, and then a list of what seems to be this complicated procedure.
Oh, is that for me?
Indeed, I think it must be, brother.
Oh, this must be from Ohan. He kind of greedily snatches it out of your hands and like completely ignores the title and is just like flipping through the pages like, yeah. He's gonna go back in his room and just
The
start
first
reading
step,
it.
Adashi, you'll notice says in big bold letters, do not use a dagger. Needle recommended.
Needle, got it. Needle. And then he's like starts patting his like body. He's like, I don't have a needle. Shit.
Do you need
And then
help,
he says,
brother?
No, I think I've got this. Do you have a needle?
With the commotion going on, just Stalin. Vieric and well, it'll be Vieric, just Stalin, then Crix will make their way out, being disturbed and waking up a bit more abruptly from the conversation outside their doors.
What the hell is going on now?
Oh, brother, do you have a needle? I just really need a needle.
Are you trying to tattoo yourself first thing in the morning, Adashi?
Not yet, just practicing.
I have a quill, but I would rather save it for a more purposeful use.
It's fine. I'll talk to Ohan, and we'll go to leave to go see if he can get a needle from Ohan.
If she doesn't have any, brother, maybe I can accompany you, and I'll help you acquire some needles.
Oh, perfect.
And I give it one nice little smirk.
Cool.
Well, should we make our way to go see Dad?
We should, brother.
Alright, well then making your way down, back into the throne room. The only individual there is your father. The royal court is absent. Morning, children. didn't expect to see you up so early. What do I owe the pleasure?
Father, we had to ask you. We saw a purple streak go through the sky last night.
Yes. Been curious of that myself. Ohan hasn't landed upon an answer, but I assume it has something to do with that streak that you saw across the sky.
So, do you think we should investigate, or would you rather us take care of the nose?
You are making that decision on your own. I've given you the time frame of when I will need you next. What you do with that time is your decision.
All right, sounds good to me.
Perhaps we can do both.
Not within 2 weeks, most likely.
Then it sounds like our mission is clear.
So we'll take care of the nose then. Everybody in agreement?
Um, I can agree with that, and I have a question for Father as well.
Yes.
Is there, or has there been another time these patterns of streak have happened? Or any legends or lore that I'm unaware of?
Go ahead and give me a persuasion check.
Everybody?
Sure. If you have stuff to back up what Cryptilli's statement is. Alright, well, if that's it, then he'll shake his head. No. To my knowledge, the only time this has happened is now, in the present.
Yes, and that is quite strange.
Could I use like a what is it? An insight check to see why he's so calm about the matter?
Sure. I will say, your
Alright,
insight
that's weird.
will lead you to believe, I mean, your father's a fairly confident individual. He seems to be, well, maybe a bit stubborn, if you will, in his decision, but once his mind set on something, he has the utmost of confidence in his success.
Fair enough.
Well, I'm sure that each of you aren't just here to speak of lights in the sky. And if you all landed on your decision, will you be staying here until heading back to the stronghold? Or will you be going to find those knolls to the south?
Creep Tilly a look at Beric.
Crix is also looking to Vieric to answer.
Your father's looking at Vieric to answer.
I'm not even gonna lie. I just got a phone call. My bad.
All right, well, what's your answer?
Yes.
So the question, what's your plan? What did each of you land up on?
Vic, are we going to see the gnolls, or are we going to deal with the other problem?
I thought it was, are we gonna wait here or go see the gnolls? But I guess there are the three choices.
Yeah, I thought the questions changed, but yeah, we can go deal with the nose. I think that's our best course of action at the moment.
If time allows, I agree. We go visit the gnolls and go about our other business.
On the small
Well.
probability that
Go ahead.
oh sorry, the small probability that we can work out some alliance with these gnolls, do we have the authority to pledge some kind of joint military operation against the northern gnolls, or are we, or do we have no backing from Blight on this mission?
I thought Father gave us the authority to do as we please, at least with this matter, be it a test or not.
Not so much of a test, but, well, their decisions will have consequences, whether good or bad. That is to be seen. It's something that each of you will need to learn. But if going to the south is what each of you are going to set out for, do you plan on leaving today? I've been informed that you've requested the ability to test that contraption with the beast.
Time is of the essence, so we will likely head out today, and that contraption could prove to be very helpful for us. So, no better time than the present to try it.
Time is of the essence. I say we go immediately or as soon as possible.
Likewise.
Well, then if you're leaving now, hopefully everything was secured in the later hours of the day. What is it that each of you will be bringing?
I secured a large offering of meat for them since they are simple and food is something that they enjoy. That's my contribution to this diplomatic effort.
I secured rations for my siblings and myself on our journey, and I plan to secure more meat on top of what Crix has already procured.
Yes, we have.
Yes, I plan to hunt every leg of our journey.
Well, I wish each of you luck. And I will make sure that Ohan has the means to communicate with any of you, if necessary. Keep in mind, things may find themselves to be a bit sticky, if you will. Things may not go as necessarily as planned. While we do send Leo out in order to solve this peacefully, things may not always play out as such. And then he will look past each of you, kind of looking as almost if he's just gazing off into the distance, and then kind of pulls himself back. Yes, he's making it past the tree lines now. He'll make his way through the pass and then up to North Point, finding the travel to be cut in half. Anything in that area, Leo will be able to handle. And if not, the platoon of guards will be a good shield for him to get away. And then he gives like a little bit of a chuckle. Well, each of you stand there with blank looks on your face. Is there another thing that you wish to say, or is it time for you to load up those sleds and make your way?
It's time, Father.
All
I
right.
believe we have what we need.
Do you mean to say that Wolf Swift has our dogs ready and trained?
I don't know if you would call it trained, but he'll be there, ready to assist in whatever means you need.
Yes, he gave me a little instructions. We can discuss them on our way to the stables.
Well, sounds like we're headed to the stables.
All right.
As we exit the throne room, I'll ask the family if we should eat breakfast first.
Of course we should. I'm always down to eat.
One less bit of ration we'll need for the road, so why not?
Good thinking.
Good thinking indeed. Really.
All right. Well, what I will leave up for you, well, to each of you, as you make your way out of the castle. There are a couple of things that will need to be accomplished, of course, before heading out. Going and securing your dog sled, but also the bits of packaged meat acquired from Cricks.
Perfect. I'd also like to make a small stop by an armor maker. Armorer?
A blacksmith?
Blacksmith. There it is.
You have armorers and blacksmiths, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm following you. I'm following you. Okay, and what would you like to do there, Cryptilly?
Oh, sorry. I would just like to stop by, price out a breastplate, since it seems like I might have to purchase that on my own. And I would like to sell my extra shield. Yep.
So what are you looking for? Like plate armor, like half plate?
Yeah, a breastplate. I'm wearing medium armor. I just want to get rid of this disadvantage with the scale mail.
Well, if you want to get rid of the disadvantage, you have to more than likely get like half plate, which is like an AC of 15 plus your Dex mod, but only a max of 2. I wonder if that's actually right. Because I didn't know if it was maxed out or not, but let me check.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, so it'll definitely be the max of 2. It's confirmed. But I mean, you'll still have disadvantage. Like, you're not really gonna get to wear plate and get rid of disadvantage. That's why it's such a high AC.
Yeah, I thought that was one that was like on the same level as scale mail, but it didn't have disadvantage. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not.
I mean, even scale mail has disadvantage. I mean, it's got metal.
Because I see there's a half plate and a breastplate only. That's still 14 instead of the 15, and it's got no disadvantage on stealth.
Yeah. I mean, you still run into the same issue with the Dex max plus 2, but yeah, it doesn't say disadvantage on that one.
Yep.
I would always just assume it's because of the metal is what gives it to you, but because it's not the size or like the weight.
Yeah, I figured everything else just clinks. That's
Yeah.
that's what I was thinking of.
Yeah. With what it says, go ahead and roll me just a persuasion check real quick. Well, I know that you're royal, but it's still gonna have to cost you a few pretty pennies. And he kind of ponders for a moment. 415 gold. I'll have it done.
Do you think you could have that done in 2 weeks?
Yeah, as long as nothing changes, should have it done in time.
Perfect. I'll pay you on my return, and you can charge the castle.
My. Noted.
And I'll sell them. I'll try to sell them my shield as well. I'll say this one has taken a bit of damage. It served me well. How much would you give me for this shield?
Just so you're aware, the breastplate's gonna obviously take a bit of time. Um, but if you're looking to sell off items, it like a vast amount, versus just like trade out things, it'll be a little bit easier just to tally it together.
The only thing I'm selling off is the shield.
Word.
I think so. Let me make sure. Yeah, I don't have anything else extra.
Give you 4 gold for it.
Seems fine to me.
All right. Go ahead and
And I'll
remove the
give him the
shield.
shield.
Get 4 gold. Okay, well, again, that'll just take like a bit of time, but other than that, no other concern. So, which one are you going to first, guys? The dog sled or the meat store?
We should probably get the dog sled first, so we can just load the meat into that.
I don't know if we want to have all of the dogs going to the meat store, though. That could be a little overwhelming.
Yeah, that sounds like a very smelly place for dogs.
So you want to carry all of that meat halfway across town?
I'm sure we could do it, or we could have the shopkeepers help.
Yeah, I think actually Crix is right. We might as well take our transport over to our last stop before we leave Blight.
Very well.
Better than carrying it across town. I just hope the dogs are trained enough.
So off to get the dog sleds we go.
All right. Well, making your way to the stables. Outside, you see 2 like makeshift style crafts. These long, thin poles that line the bottom, and that this almost looks like a cart without wheels, just resting upon these like long, thin blades. Attached, you see ropes that lead off to the dogs with the leather contraption that was shown. And in total, you see there to be 26 dogs, 13 on each sled. As you each make your way up, Nyx and Kitty will begin to like kind of perch up on their backs. The dogs then all begin to go a little wild, barking, and then the cats hissing and clawing, giving back bits of growls as they just slash their claws in the air, seeming to be in a slight intimidating manner.
May tries to sort of like Caesar Milan, dog whisperer, Nyx, and just go. Shh. And the dogs.
Give me an animal handling check for the dogs. Dogs continue to keep barking. Kitty getting more and more upset.
So I'm
Will
gonna
Swift's
go.
going, what did you bring those cats over here for?
So I'm gonna go pet her and try to calm her down and tell her everything's gonna be okay. And I'm gonna try to give her some food to calm her down.
Oh, yeah, that's easily done. Will Swift will continue trying to hush the dogs. Kind of kicking up bits of snow, trying to get their attention away from the cats. Hey, over here, you dumb animals! And, here. And then you see him take out a couple of chunks of meat and throw them towards the dogs. Bits of snarling and growling as you can hear their teeth just kind of chomp at each other, keeping one another at bay from the meat. You can see that each of these dogs are, well, not necessarily the best of trained, but there seems to be a bit of a pack order, if you will. The one at the lead getting most of the meat, and then the others taking theirs little bits at a time.
Creep Tilly approach one of the sleds, and the dog that's at the front of the leash or front of the sled, and just try to get its attention. Looking it dead in the eyes
And you
with the
see
cold
him.
stare.
You see him, you'll recognize it to be the large black husky looking dog that you had noted before, gnawing on what was a bit of bone and flesh, but now just bone. As you look, he looks. You hear him begin to growl.
May sort of like, she doesn't run, but she rushes up to where Creep Tilly is standing, and having trained with the dogs before, she sort of like not runs at them, but she sort of like calmly and peacefully like encroaches on their space to the point that they have to like sit and be still.
You can give me another animal handling check, but instead of advantage from working with them before due to your previous roll, I will just allow this to be normal.
That's fair. Because the last one was bad. Damn.
You get a couple of them to pay attention, but it seems to be about half and half. About 13 paying attention to you. Mainly the ones closer towards the sled, but the ones farther up away seem to still be, scrapping about with the bits of meat. But they seem to be calming a bit, but starts to give you more and more the impression of, well, the possible difficulties. What may lay ahead.
I turn to Creep Tilly and I say, Sister, don't give them an inch. Wait until they are done with their meal.
And I'll listen to them being done with their meal, and question. Can I cast guidance on myself?
Yeah, of course.
Ah, cool. So after they're done with their food, I'll cast guidance, and then I'll approach the pack dog again.
Okay.
And I wanted to try to get it to listen to me. Um, First, just approaching, trying to pet it on its head.
Okay, go ahead and give me an animal handling check at disadvantage. Okay, and then your guidance. Roll me that D4. All right, so it's 16 in total. After waiting for them to be done with their food and walking back over to the lead dog, you see his head kind of just like tilt to the side, a bit of curiosity as you approach. You reach out. He kind of just puts his head up to your hand and allows you to pet him. Seems to be quite a bit more calm with a full belly. Well, is that all the gear that each of you are bringing, or do you plan on getting a bit more?
We have a bit more to pick up.
Alright. Well, then which one of you will be driving which one?
And I'll look to Vieric and May.
I'll take the one with the dog I struggled with.
Okay.
Is that the lead dog that you're talking about?
It is on one. The other is a bit more of a short-haired, while still very thick-furred. It is brown, white, and little bits of black stripes.
So I can help May with the one since she's having trouble with them.
Brother, I'm going to lead one and you're going to lead the other.
Oh, so you just take the one I wanted, huh?
I spoke up first. I don't know if this is the one you wanted.
Too quickly. As usual.
Do you want this dog? You can have the sled. That's fine with me.
I thank you, sister. Yes, I do want this one.
She's gonna approach the dog, the lead dog, like the big, like dark furred one, and try to pet it, but very like respectfully.
Animal handling check.
That's fair, but like I'm scared. Thank God.
Goes really well. This one seems entirely way more friendly than the previous, giving you bits of kisses. You just hear Nyx kind of doing that, like, attention grabbing. And every time you pet the dog. Bits of jealousy.
Alright, brother. You can have this one. I'll take the other sled. And I approach the lead dog on the other sled.
Alright. Well, seeming to pass the test with the alpha, the rest seem to quickly follow suit for you, May. Well, each of you stand on the ends. As you can see right here, there's a bit more room to stack a few things, or your siblings. Looks like it might be a little tight, but you'll be able to bring a bit of supplies with you too. Easy. Those can just stack up more near the front. But you're going to want to keep more weight near the back. You don't want to dig down the front too much. And it's kind of like if a ship goes underwater, you'll just crash and wreck. It's not fun. However, with each of you being on it, it'll be a little tricky. May, Vieric, if you will. And then he leads each of you to your respective sleds and shows you how to get on and secure and everything, and then lets you know tilting this way, leaning to the right, will push down this one. It'll pull you a little bit more off that way, and then the same thing to the left. If you want to stop, just push down. It'll pull back the ropes and then give the command to yield, forward to go, and then the rest is pretty much up to you.
All right, sounds good to me. It's easy enough.
So each of you are intelligent enough to get the process. It's just more of now doing it. So everything's strapped in, ready to go. Well, Swift helps get the your immediate materials on the sled, strapped down, shows you how to work all of that as well. Teaches you, gives you a quick rundown before letting you set out on your way. As he departs, he'll say, "Well, we'll be quite busy counseling your father for the next few days until we at least hear back from Leo. But he'll get the job done."
How many, like, what is the limit of how many people per sled?
It looks like up to 4, and then also just a bit of supplies. Gotta have enough room for the dogs, supplies as well to feed them, of course, and then everything that you're bringing as well. So it is definitely going to be a bit tight.
I'll ask, how much do these dogs eat, and what exactly should we be feeding them? What's their regimen?
They're not picky. Raw meat'll do just fine, but if you want to char it off on the fire a little bit, they don't mind that either.
So we'll need to step up our hunting when we're out.
Yeah, that'll probably be wise. Having them eat whatever's fresh, then leaving it behind. And it might pull the other dire wolves away from you.
Well, what's this one's name? Or do any of them have names?
He'll shake his head. No. Don't want to get too attached. I don't expect these ones to last long.
May looks like hurt, not offended, but like shocked. And and the one that is on the lead in her sled, it's like sort of like multicolored, right?
Indeed.
She's gonna call him Spot. Whole Spot.
Well, what I will do is give those that like develop like a bit of like a bond and things of that manner with the dogs. I'll give them your sheet if it's ever needed. But to be fair, I don't think I'd pull any of these things into combat, if that's what you're wondering, Grix. Yeah, they definitely don't know Fireball, so they're practically useless.
Hell no, but like if one of them gets hurt from an ambush or whatever.
I feel like we just got a lot of meat for the nose that moves itself.
And if you were offended by what I said, you should be super offended by what Adachi said. And then on that note, let's go ahead and take our 5-minute break and then get back to it as each of you begin to make your way to go load up the meat that you bought and then head out of Blight. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right, we'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So, as each of you load up onto the dog sleds, making your way, get adjusted with the amount of belongings that you have on you at the moment, it's not too difficult to get comfortable and have everything situated. You can then begin to see exactly how tight it is going to be. The first question I have is, Vieric and May are both driving the sleds. So, are two of you like in pairs getting in the others, or are three of you gonna ride together? And then that pretty much fills up that sled, then the other one rides solo besides the driver. But how would you like to go about it?
I would imagine we should balance the weight out.
Yeah, 3 and 3 makes sense until we get the meat.
Okay.
Oh, I'm not getting home.
Noted.
I'm unsure about their travel speed. That kind of matters compared to the solo travel speed.
I mean, I mean, you're unsure. This is definitely new. But I guess you'll find out.
Yeah, I want to see if they go like to the meat store, and then outside of the gates.
Okay, so Cryptilli's not riding. Now I know what three of you are doing. So Adashi, Crix, just Stalin.
Oh, I'm definitely riding.
I'm riding so I could at least represent the weight of the meat once we put it on there. Because their travel speed now is not going to be the same as it would be after we load up all the meat anyway.
Dashi's going to walk with Cortilli because he does not have a good track record of interacting with animals.
Okay, so just, 2 and 2. Crix and just Stalin, can you give me a dexterity saving throw at advantage? And then May and Vieric, can both of you establish your command word, whatever that may be, mush, forward, whatever you'd like it to be, essentially. But as you give the command word, I will need either an athletics or acrobatics check, and then that check will be made at disadvantage, but I will allow you to choose which one you go with.
So that was a dex save for me?
At advantage.
At advantage, okay. So which one do I take?
I don't know, but you and Justalin are so alike. So,
It's meat times 2.
May, Vieric, again, choose your athletics or acrobatics check, but it will be at disadvantage, okay?
And my word is mush.
And then athletics for Vieric, alright.
Yeah, man, I didn't do it right.
Oh,
wait, no, that works, right?
I mean, it works. I just take the lower one. It's okay. So as each of you are going, you hear the command words, and just Stalin, Crix, you begin to feel the sled pick up speed. At first, it seems a bit slow as Cryptilli and Adashi kind of walk past, getting like halfway up the team of dogs, turning and then beginning to walk backwards. But as you see each of the dogs beginning to work together, you feel a bit of rockiness as the sled picks up speed and then begins to slide along. Soon, the dogs whip past where Adashi and Cryptilli are, and Cryptilli and Adashi, you find it a bit difficult to keep up. Just Stalin and Crix, can you give me an intelligence check? And then can you each give me a perception check? Perfect.
Disregard that first one.
Who's riding with who? Who's with Vieric?
I'd like to be with Vieric.
Okay. Crix, you're really unsure of how it's capable of, like, pulling this weight and remaining at such a good speed because of being quite distracted by the sounds that Vieric is making as he is stumbling, losing his footing on the sled poles back and forth as he's just rocking and basically holding on as almost if he's riding a wild horse. While still able to control it, you feel that it could be a bit better. Just Stalin, you notice that the ropes are all taut, pulled together, and the dogs seem to be working in unison, and which is how this is moving so quickly with no issue of weight, at least at the moment. You look back from hearing yells and screams, and you see May having quite a bit more of a difficult time than Vieric, holding on, whipping back and forth. Cryptilli, Adashi, both of you will notice this as the sleds just pull away. You find yourselves just kind of left alone as they disappear around a bend.
Adashi's gonna look to Cryptilli and say, sister, you know, I was thinking, is it a smart idea to go out in the middle of the wilderness with a big chunk of meat when there's a lot of hungry gnolls and animals around? Or are we asking for trouble? Maybe I didn't think this through.
Well, maybe, but this is fine. I think that we all agreed upon a plan, and it seems like if we run into any trouble, we should be able to handle it.
I know you're really good at remembering last minute items before our big trip. Would it be worthwhile to maybe buy some incense or something just to mask the smell of the meat? Or you think we're fine?
I get the fear, and I always have a couple extra incense on me. But maybe we can just try covering our meat in the snow so that it freezes overnight, and that should keep the meat smell to a minimum.
Right, and you know that Jastalin gets pretty stinky. Ha 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 ha. And Adashi tries to make a joke and gives you a little elbow to the side.
I'm sure they all do.
And yeah, I guess we continue following on.
So, Crix, with you giving your bits of direction on where you had purchased the meat, you would know that it would take you normally 30 minutes, maybe a little bit longer to maneuver your way about, but with the speed of the dogs, you get there in half the time. The individuals just clearing out of the streets from each of your paths, making your way down the slightly covered cobblestone roads with that just slightly bits of snow. However, each of you arrive there quite quickly, and when you do, you will see your meat with the butcher essentially sitting there waiting for your arrival. What in the hell are you? I'm not sure. What is those things?
The future. No,
These are dogs. They're an animal, highly
No, I know what the
trainable.
dogs are. What are each of you riding? What is that contraption?
Oh, this is a sled.
Well, listen, the dog meat doesn't sell well very very well up here. If you're looking for an exchange, I'm only going to be able to do about 5 copper a pound.
No, we're here to pick up the meat I bought yesterday.
These are not livestock, they're working animals.
Well, with that amount, it looks like you'll need a bit more meat. Look, with the amount of gold that you spent here the other day, Prince, I threw a couple of extra pounds on top. You kept the bone in, so made it a bit easier to get the chopping done. Wasn't sure if a crate would be wise, so I just had it wrapped in the bits of parchment and tied off with twine. I have a crate ready, though, if you need it.
Do you think a crate would make it easier to pack into these sleds?
I have no idea.
I say we try it.
By the way, is this like a lot of meat, or like how much is this gonna fill up the space we have in the sleds now that we're actually seeing it?
Or just like how much
Well.
does it weigh relative to a person?
Because I just kind of threw money at him.
This is gonna be roughly 40 pounds of meat. So I mean, it's not a small thing, but I mean, it's not massive. I would say it could fit into a chest that's, maybe 2 by 2. Well, actually, I'm thinking of my freezer chest that I used to have, a little bit bigger, probably about 3 by 5. And then, a depth, obviously.
Yeah, not crazy.
Yeah.
Like, we could easily split this up amongst the many of us.
So that's 40 total or 40 per sled? Which maybe
40 total. You can do 20
40
per
total.
sled.
Oh,
No,
wow.
that's
Okay,
nothing.
yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Whatever's in that crate, yeah, I say take it out the crate and just pile it up. Shouldn't be too bad.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. The crate was just an option if needed. So you can like I said, load it up to 20 and 20. Probably seems more of the better plan. At this point, May, you're good, but Vieric, can you give me an animal handling check for the dogs?
Damn it, I got maze luck.
You feel a bit of tugging coming in as you're trying coming from the dogs as you're trying to place the meat upon the sleds. They're kind of giving bits of jolt, turning, trying to get back. You see them kind of sniffing and salivating, being quite drawn. You see May's dog sled team just sitting, behaving quite well.
Damn demon dogs.
But with a little bit of hindrance, it'll just add a little bit more of a time, a few more moments, nothing major. However, each of you can load it up and have it ready to go in about 15 minutes. So now making our way to the north gate and then setting out upon the road. At this point, what I would like is one of you, whoever feels more comfortable with it, drawing the path with a ruler, to set a path that each of you can agree upon in order to move about, because it will matter.
Do we want to take the road?
Not it.
Adashi.
Sorry.
Perhaps we should take the road south, at least until we are in line with the mountain. We get kind of thinking here, and then we just kind of head straight. Yeah, something like that.
I'm drawing it just to make it easier, but that's what I was kind of guessing that you were pinging. But if everyone's good with that, then we can follow that. But, obviously you can leave it up for debate.
I would say we would make the turn a lot sooner. That doesn't seem very straight at all.
Well, we'll be able to travel more quickly on the road, so getting as close as we can to the mountain on the road is probably smart. Although, if we could, we might want to do a small detour and try and go to the camp that we saw the gnolls at and see if we can pick up their trail since we don't know exactly where we're going.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. That'd be good. And then maybe May can track if she sees any trail
Yeah,
from where they left.
maybe.
DM, where exactly? I mean, or can you show us where we ran into where that null camp was on the map, or are we supposed to remember where it was?
You can give me an intelligence check, but little things of that note, um, you're gonna have to make like a note or have me make a marker for it. You have a rough location.
Seems about right.
We're about there.
That seems about right to me.
So we heading straight west.
I think we should, brother.
What about that? Just so, like 25 miles down the road.
I mean, where you guys go is up to you. I just need a path that each of you agree upon. You guys, I mean, as like Crix pointed out, for just a good example, is there's some precise locations that you may or may not want to go to.
Definitely agree on the last known location. The
Yes.
last.
Same.
Yeah. I think that's a smart idea to do.
Yeah. So do we just want to go straight off-roading, like just head straight west to that null camp, where we think it is?
If that's what
Yeah.
you think will be the fastest option, I'm down for it.
I mean, I think if we go a little bit down the road, I feel like that'll be faster, but I don't know. I don't really know mechanically how the dog sleds work. Like if they move faster on a road versus, or if it's all the same, if it's all snow.
Yeah, if it's forested, I know that'll slow us down a good bit. And I know the map doesn't completely depict that, how forested it is. So I would want to keep that in consideration.
If it is thick snow, we'll all have to ride on the sleds because the people walking will not be able to keep up with them at all.
That too. So I mean, you might have a good point. Southwest a bit on the main road, and then straight west afterwards, just to save a bit of time.
Yeah, I mean, what is the group think? You guys want to go a little bit on the road, or just head straight there to the mount? I mean, I guess we could at least figure out. We could at least test to see if the dogs are faster on the road versus the snow. If we do a combination, and then we know for the future which way, like if it even matters.
Yeah, I mean,
Sure.
to their capabilities, so going part of the way on the road does make sense. to see how it works with our current infrastructure.
Yeah, I mean, I'm more thinking. I don't know how much, because we're not talking about staying on the road very long. I don't know how much it really is going to help us or hurt us, but now I'm more thinking it would just be helpful to know: do they move any faster on the road versus like just open wilderness? So it might just be good information for us to have.
All good notes.
Like that's the purpose of roads.
Yeah, I mean, I would think they'd go a little faster, but I don't know.
All right, so
I
it
mean,
sounds
so
like
you-
you're landing on the 25 miles down the road and then off directly to the west.
Yes, if the group's okay with that. I
Sounds
mean, to
good
me,
to
the
me.
safest would probably be to take the roads all the way to Dire Frost and then head north. But that's going to take too long, I think, even with dog sleds. So I think our best option is go halfway to Nubian's tomb and then head straight west toward the Knoll camp, kind of.
About this location.
Yeah,
Yep.
All right.
maybe not. Maybe like 2/5 of the way to Nubian's tomb, something like that.
Sure. Yeah. Like, go down the road to the closest to the Knoll camp. Like, yes, let's do it.
Yeah, whatever the shortest distance from the road to the Knoll camp is. Smallest hypotenuse.
Who remembers that term?
A squared plus B squared equals C squared, baby.
I actually use it a
Get
lot in D&D.
Pythagoras.
Not gonna lie.
Plus or minus the square root.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yeah,
like,
you remember
that
that
hypotenuse is bigger than either side.
Yeah, that's the
I
C.
see.
Well, the first question I have for each of you before each of you making your way out is how, now that you have the meat loaded on, are each of you riding?
Yeah, after I saw them come out of the gate, I'll give it a shot.
I'm gonna ride in Vyric's cart again, just like last time.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll jump on whichever one Cryptily doesn't jump on.
Alright, so Cryptilli, which one are you getting on? The Viric or May?
I might ride with Varric.
Okay. So Cryptilli, give me a dexterity saving throw at advantage. Viric, give me another athletics or acrobatics check. This time it will still be at disadvantage. Adashi, I will need a dexterity save from you as well at advantage. And then May, same thing, but your roll's at disadvantage. The athletics or acrobatics.
The exact same thing. Wow.
Now, just saying, if your acrobatics is better, you can use that. I'm giving you the option. Well, while able to still control it a bit, May and Viric, you both find yourselves to, still basically feel like you're riding a wild horse as you're making your way down. It's just quite a bit like bumpy along the road. However, the other four of you sitting on the sleds quite comfortably, other than hearing the bits of shouts of fear and things coming from your brother and sister, all is well. The wind seems to be picking up quite a bit along with the speed that you're moving. As you make your way nearly 25 miles down the road, discussing along the, beforehand which path to take, noting that this is the rough time to turn west, it has only been about half a day. Practically nearly doubling your speed. So, heading off to the west, roughly about this location. You then Vieric and May, can you give me an athletics acrobatics check, whichever one you prefer? This one will be normal.
Oh no.
May, can you roll me a d6? And then I need the check from Vieric as well. Oh wait, Vieric said he'd be right back. I don't know if he's back yet. Nope. Alright. Well, roughly about 5 to 10 miles in, you hear May and Vieric both let out a bit of a ah! And as each of you look back, you see May and Vieric gone.
Are the dogs slowing down at all?
Not at all.
Alright, I'm gonna try and bring the dogs to a halt.
Okay, give me an athletics or acrobatics check. This will
I'll
stop.
do the
This will
same.
stop Vieric's. All right, and then you do the same thing, just Stalin. This will stop May's. Yeah, you're able to get it done. It's definitely a bit odd as each of you are attempting to do this, but as you look back, you see May and Vieric both just had eaten a bit of shit, riding out into the snow. I'll let Vieric know when he gets back. Unfortunate for him, but each of you will take 2 points of damage.
Wild.
Did I happen to see this happen?
Well, the 4 of you are looking forward, but I mean, you can kind of gather what had gone on by the time the sleds stop, and you look back, and they're nearly 60 to 70 foot behind already. You can see exactly like how fast the dogs are moving at this point.
Wait, so just to double check, everyone takes 2 points of damage, or just Vieric and May?
Just Vieric and May.
Oh, gotcha.
They basically lost their grip and fell off from a bump or something.
And 8 frozen shit. Got it.
Yep.
Well, it won't take too much time for May and Vieric to catch back up and continue out once more. However, it does seem that this is definitely a odd contraption to get the hang of and also maneuver. And now also, I guess understanding what Wolfswift meant when watching a few fall, break their nose, and perhaps sometimes even lose teeth. But luckily for each of you, the snow softening each of the blow. Imagine what it would feel like falling upon the road. But with that in mind, you have a couple more hours of travel left. If someone else would like to volunteer for maneuvering these sleds, feel free. But I'll leave that up to each of you after seeing how May and Vieric have been handling this thus far. Really good with animals, maybe not inventions.
I'd like to give it a try if Vieric doesn't mind.
It's perfect. Vieric definitely doesn't mind because he is on a call.
MIA.
May, being a bit more confident in her abilities, I'm assuming staying as the pilot of the other.
Unless somebody wants to give me a break.
So I could use
Okay.
acrobatics. It doesn't necessarily have to be animal handling
Well, so, getting
or
this
both.
done and having them, like, tend a bit more to you, you'll know that having at least the lead dog on your side being a bit more helpful. However, with what you had just done, perhaps you feel maybe May and Vieric are being a little bit dramatic.
I could try petting or, making a bond with the lead dog with my animal handling
Yep.
and see how that goes first before I
Okay, so
determine
go
if I
ahead and
need to
give me an
take the
animal
lead.
handling check, and Crix, if you wish to
All
do the
right,
same thing, my friend, feel free.
there we go.
I shall
If
attempt
we're
to be friends with this dog.
oh,
You guys are
nice.
so good at this.
Hell no, that's why I never do this. Animal handling always sucks for me.
And, Crix, I mean, you get, the warning signs, so you see the ears pinned back, and you don't really feel that the dog is too friendly. Just Stalin, you tempt your fate a little bit farther as you reach out. Can you give me a dexterity saving throw? As the dog attempts to bite your hand.
So, since animal handling didn't work, can I try an intimidation check?
Sure. Just tell me how you're going about it. Just all, and you pull your hand back, but you hear like that chomp, just of like the air snapping down. This definitely would have hurt.
Damn it, May. Nope, you're still at it. I can't. Me and animals, we don't seem to synchronize too much. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna
If we're
point my
prof-
finger.
Patience, brother.
I'm gonna point my finger at the dog and tell it needs to listen to me, and try and just be, dominating it. See if I can break its will.
Okay, go ahead and give me an intimidation.
This probably won't work.
Oh no.
The dog like turns, lifts its leg up, and begins to pee in your direction.
It's better than being bitten.
You win this time, dog.
You win this round.
I'm done.
If we're proficient in acrobatics, can we give the help action to the driver?
If you can give me a really good way of how to help on a dog sled, I'm all ears. I'll
Hmm.
just let you know I did do a little bit of research.
There
Not
is a
that
way,
much,
I do know it.
but you can give me a way because there, like Crick said, there is a way. You gotta be specific.
I don't know how comfortable I am with the way.
Me either.
Hmm. It's okay. I think it'll require Adachi to get way closer to May than he feels comfortable to. So,
It's basically
um,
that scene from Titanic.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's basically all you can do is to support their body against the sled.
I would be down, but I think it involves a lot more like not running in the snow kind of bonding. Like a not in the moment bonding for you and the dogs.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, it's cool. Adachi trusts May.
Okay, so Crix, go ahead and give me your athletics or acrobatics check, and May, the same thing. These rolls are normal. May, you'll be able to find that the path is a bit less bumpy, but you, stupid cat, you are still having a bit of trouble, while able to retain yourself a slight bit more than while on the road, and then obviously when getting that adjustment into the snow. You see Crix take off with very little issue. Uh, the main issue for Crix is getting the dog to listen. However, once you take off, May, the alpha of the pack doesn't want to be in the rear and takes off.
May hangs on for dear life.
And eventually getting to just outside the tree lines as the sun begins to set. Each of you feel that you have almost doubled your speed. Perhaps if May and Vieric didn't fall off and maybe had a bit more control of the sled, as Crick seemed to have, just little bits of issues with the animals listening, you'd probably move a little bit farther. Just Stalin, that was the sickest insult I've ever heard.
No, that is facts. If we can bring it back,
That's facts,
we will
that's a
see the
double insult.
evidence. we can go back and look at the videos, look at the footage.
I mean, Crixie does have a point. The Shadow always just seemed to roll better, but how cool would it be if it did pilot one of the sleds?
Yeah, I know my Shadow's better than me. I'm a
He
Shadow.
does have
of
less
Shadow.
hit points though.
And I think it would, if you got like more than 40 feet apart or something, wouldn't it just disappear? So
Yeah,
it
5
is,
seconds after we're more than 30 feet apart, it vanishes. So that could be a little
Yeah.
tricky.
Yeah, we just like leave the sled driverless.
But still fun. Again, however, it is getting fairly late. Each of you knowing from the time each of you has spent here, i.e. your entire lives, essentially, except for Justalin. But, I mean, Justalin, you being here enough time to understand night is nearly certain death among travel. It is definitely time to set the camp. Especially knowing that there is a bit more to take care of now. You'll note
lot more.
Kitty and Nyx nearly exhausted in attempts to keep up with the sleds.
May pulls back on the reins hard and yells, "Stop! No, halt!"
And they do so.
I'm gonna attempt to follow suit so I don't leave her behind or a
You're
kitty.
not driving anymore. And you took 2 damage from eating shit and falling.
Oh, well, fuck me.
Pretty much.
So Crix took
I
over
fell
while you
too.
were going.
Also, I fell too.
Yeah, May did fall too.
Nice. Well, damn, everything goes to shit.
But pretty much just since you were AFK, Crix took over, since more rolls were required. But each of you arriving outside the tree line, halting the sleds, and at this point, May and Vieric, since you're more connected with the dogs, as you each hear bits of whimper, you can tell that they're hungry, and I mean, well he deserved to work up this appetite, to say the least.
May turns to Crix and says, "Brother, can I get a portion of our bounty for the gnolls in order to feed the dogs for the night?"
I thought we got a little food with the dogs on the sleds.
I think there was an extra crate, right? But I don't know how far that would carry us.
No one looked into it, but there is food for the dogs.
Great. Let's stop here for the night. Feed everyone.
Sounds good. We made really good progress today. Sleds, while not the most convenient thing in the world, are quite fast.
May like stumbles off the sled and goes to pet Nyx.
Nyx allows you to pet her, giving off like bits of purring, but you can definitely sense a bit of an attitude. She seems jealous.
I give her some of my rations for the night.
Well, as you hand Nyx a bit of food, you hear the dogs beginning to whimper more and more.
Well, if nobody else is making a move, I'll make a move to start getting some of the meat for the dogs from their provisions.
I'll help him.
I'll leave you to it because they don't like me too much, so I'm just gonna start setting up camp, fires, tents, and whatnot.
Yeah, and I'll definitely help feed the dogs. Paying more attention to the black lead dog that was on Veer's sled,
Mm-hmm.
and then some of the, I guess, beta dogs near the rift.
Yeah, no problem. Cryptilli and May, each of you have, started to grow a little bit of bond with the lead. Crix, with the food, can you go ahead and give me an animal handling check at advantage? Seems to be much easier making friends with most of them. And even the lead dogs seem to be, well, from your previous experience, seem to be a bit more friendly. The food definitely seems to play a huge part. But on top of that, just as a note, it seems that from the amount of food that you've passed out, it seems to be just the right amount to feed each of the sled dogs. And judging by what remains, there seems to be 4 more days of rations for the dogs. Not that many, well, days, if you will. And as Wolf Swift indicated, perhaps good to find some fresh meat as well.
How much time is it before we have to be in camp?
You have a couple of hours. Each of you know to kind of set down and go forth your abilities, or not your abilities, but your process of setting camp for the night fairly early. At least that's what each of you have done thus far. No one's really pushed on past that couple of hours till the sun sets.
Yeah, perfect. That sounds good.
All right. Well, setting camp is no issue. However, May and Virik, Cryptilli, Crix, now you as well. From dealing with the animals, you know that it is going to be a slight bit of an issue to just leave them out in the open. The dogs, at least a few of them, aren't meant to just be out in this brutally cold environment. So with that in mind, if you have something specific that you may think of, feel free. But if not, then I got some checks for you to make.
Yeah.
So I think that May would set up, would make sure that there's enough tents set up to where there's at least one where all the dogs can sleep, and she will sleep in there.
Okay, well, if I'm not mistaken, you have 4 tents. And most of you kind of split up. But I think Virik took his own tent.
Yeah, I usually took my own tent, but we had been using that really big tent that we got from, I was about to say the ogres, but they weren't ogres, I don't think.
The bandits.
It was
Those
one
are
or two.
ogres. You're half right.
You're
I
half
thought we
right.
still had that too.
That was a good one, Dashi. It's because they were half ogres. But yeah, I mean, like I said, to my knowledge, you only had the 4, and then you have that large one as well. You know, that seems to me a good amount to set up, and gives you each enough space. Trying to think of the right words, kind of stalling, doing very poor on it, but giving each of you enough space to accommodate the dogs as well. However, I mean, each of you noting that this does take a bit more time in order to provide for this extra bit of, well, companionship.
Yeah, that sounds good.
More like transportation, but yeah, we need it.
And in the tent that I set up, I'll bring in the large pack dog, and then 4 of the other dogs.
Makes so much more room if your shadow's outside, Crix. All right. Well, I mean, it seems that there's enough room for everything. So, can you give me, Cryptilli, a survival check at advantage? All right. Well, I mean, it's definitely a bit more time hindering, but each of you are able to do this with, you know, relatively quickly. Very little issues. And just getting everything set up for the night. Please make sure that you mark down your dog sled rations. So there will be 4 remaining, and that will take care of the entire 26. So each one will take care of them for a day, essentially, just to make it quite a bit easier. The only thing of concern, obviously, is like the weight, but with the sleds, less of a concern. If you were carrying it, bigger issue. However, are we sticking with the same watch order for the night as you make your way into the night and into the next day?
Yes, and before we go to sleep for the night, I just want to make sure, like, wherever we decided to keep the meat, we packed it on in a little bit of snow, so it's not like just sitting out getting warmed.
I don't think it could get warm, but I agree it should be kept cold.
I was taking
At
that
least
into
in this instance.
consideration from your last comment on it, but I do appreciate the bringing it up again for a nice reminder. But if I'm not mistaken, it is Adachi and Crix that are on watch order together. I feel like that's wrong though.
I think
No, usually me and Cryptilli are together.
It's me and May on the first one, right?
I have May and Just All in for the last, and then I had a question mark near the first, which was Vieric and Cryptilli, but I think that was just for like one night. If I mean, I could be wrong, but I definitely remember Vieric being with Cryptilli, or not Cryptilli, but Adachi a bit more because of Adashi's personality.
Yeah, me and Jason have the last watch usually.
Okay.
Yeah, we had last watch last time, and probably most times.
All right.
I think
So, if I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I think Adachi and Vic did split up their watch order just because of their little falling out.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was me and May, but I don't know who the hell I was with then. Was I with Creep Tilly then?
That's why I had Creptilli, because the last one I've always had May and just Stalin, like practically since the
Yeah,
beginning.
we'll do a Vic and I, and then
Okay.
Adachi and Crix.
All right. Is there anything else that you guys want to take care of before getting into the night?
Adachi needs to recast Find Familiar because I don't think I've done that since Little May got taken out at Blight. So I think it takes like a little over an hour to do. And I believe the last time Adachi lost May, I think I got like enough to cast it 3 times, like the spell components. So this will leave me with 2 more
Correct.
rations, I guess, or provisions to cast the spell. Materials, yes. So that's what he would do when he's like a 2-hour watch, 2-hour window to recast, Find Familiar, and 4 hours to meditate.
All right. Well, no problem. You can get that done quite easily while camp's being set up, and you can have Little May reappear.
Oh, nice. Okay. Does that mean I could have 2 hours to read my tattoo instructions?
No.
No, darn. Okay, thought I'd try.
I mean, you can do it during your watch if you want, but that's up to you.
I mean, I think in character Adachi probably would.
Well, then it sounds like you made your call.
Okay.
Which is fine with me. Anything else that you guys want to take care of? Just so you know, Adachi, this is one of the things that was kind of said to me, and it made a lot of sense. If you make a call and like it feels off, then like obviously you know you made the wrong call. But if you make the call and then everything feels good, then you made the right call. And I know that seems super simple, but that goes a long way with thinking of like how your character that you made would perceive it.
Yeah.
Keyword character.
Yeah, I mean, just metagaming wise, it's a little shitty to be like, no, I'm not gonna keep watch. I'm just gonna read my notes for my character instead. But
Alright, so I have Vic and Creptilli, and then it's Adachi and Crix, and then goes into just Stalin and May.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. So after everyone, kind of makes their way into their individual tents, you hear the wind picking up just a bit more as the snow begins to fall. You hear it pattering against the ground a bit loudly. It's the only other sound emitting besides the wind. What are you and Virik doing at this moment, Creptilli?
Funny you should ask. At this moment, I'm probably pouring out my contents of my jug and telling it to refill with wine.
What was it previously filled with?
Beer.
Ooh, that's gonna taste weird.
Yep.
Well, no problem. Virik, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna play with Kitty because she had a long day. And then after the jug's done being filled, I'm gonna say, "Hey, sister, how about a little bit of sharing?"
We can give it a try.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So I guess we're just gonna sit here and drink as we do our watch.
Only 2 cups for me.
Okay. So, as each of you are sitting inside the tent, enjoying a nice drink, can each of you give me a perception check at disadvantage? As each of you taste the contents from the jug, you taste the bit of the bitterness coming from the wine. It's a nice little hint of raspberry, and it's got a slight earthy tone to it as well. And then the sweetness from the honey kicks in, and then you get that just taste of ale in the aftertaste. It's not necessarily the worst thing, but it's definitely odd.
Huh. Not bad, but not great either.
Yeah, maybe you should have washed it out first.
Varric, at this point, you hear a low growl, a bit of a roar, if you will. Seems to be fairly far away.
Sister, did you hear that?
As soon as he says, hear that, I started reaching for my crossbow.
But Cryptilli, you hear nothing. Grab the crossbow.
I didn't hear anything, but what did it sound like?
It sounded like a growl off in the distance.
Can you tell which way?
Unfortunately, with the wind, it's hard to tell.
Not exactly, but I know what I heard though.
Hmm. Could it be Kitty?
No, I know how she sounds.
It's definitely not Kitty. Varric, you're positive of that.
Nah, I would have known that from the jump. Do you think we should go investigate it, or at least tell our siblings?
Well, nothing set off the alarm set that I can tell. So it can't be too close, so I'm sure it's okay to investigate.
Hmm, you're right. Let's go take a look, shall we?
For the record, I don't think I set an alarm this time, unless unless we decided that's like a given now.
To be fair, I did state, at least quite a few sessions ago, I feel. Might have not been as many as I think it has, but I do remember stating, unless you otherwise say you're not setting an alarm, you set an alarm because you had
Got it.
mentioned
Okay.
it, 5, 10 times in a row kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Got it.
We have a
Okay.
protocol.
Got it.
Yeah.
That
Definitely
adopted it.
establishing a protocol, to be fair.
Because Anthony definitely forgot to say something about it. So
Yes.
We can go take a look, and if we find anything worth mentioning, we can send Kitty back.
Perfect. I just want to see at least what it is before we wake them from their sleep.
All right. So each of you make your way out. How far are you going?
I don't want to go farther than the alarms would go, like so, just to the border of wherever Madashi had pointed out that went.
Okay. Well, As Cryptilli and Vieric, each of you make your way out towards the border of where you know the alarm to be set. You feel the wind has picked up quite a bit. The weather seems to be worsening, but it's also quite normal, with it being late in the night, showing you exactly why you don't travel when the sun is down. But making your way out, you each begin to feel the bits of cold sinking in. Can each of you give me a perception check at disadvantage?
Wow.
Cryptilli?
Nope, I thought I did. Just kidding. Hold on.
As each of you make your way out, noting be fairly close to the border of the alarm, looking out, the wind pressing the snow up against each of your faces, you just see the silhouettes of the tree line and vast emptiness out into the plains.
I'm not sure what that was, but I guess we should make our way back since we don't see anything.
Yeah, it's way too cold to drive to the devil's house.
Hey,
Making your way back, you soon find the comfort of the warmth coming from the tents, and then an hour or so later, noting it to be time to wake up Crix and Adashi for their watch.
So we're gonna wake them up and tell them about the noise that I heard so they can be on guard for it.
Yeah, and we'll let them know that we just kind of went up to the border to check and see if we could see anything, but it was way too cold out to want to venture farther than camp.
Where did we store the meat? Is it like in the middle of the camp, buried in ice, or did we say like? I think Adachi would just ask like, did you check to make sure our nothing got our meat supply?
I didn't check, but um, we'll say we put it in the middle of the tents.
I think Adachi would just thank him for the heads up and would just do a quick pass to make sure like nothing snuck by them um, and got to any of our meat. And then, yeah, I guess would set up for and probably wouldn't read his notes knowing that there might be something around begrudgingly.
Okay, so with it being Crix and Adashi's watch at this moment, as Vieric and Cryptilli close their eyes to get their rest until morning, after relaying that bit of information, what are each of you doing during your watch?
I'm gonna, since Little May's back in the picture, I'm gonna have her kind of scout further out, kind of do an aerial flyby of the camp and to see if there's any, like looking for tracks or anything. And we'll kind of be casually flipping between my vision and her vision, kind of just to maybe like I wait till she like hoots when she finds something, and then I kind of look and we'll telepathically like, no, that's just a branch. Yeah, I don't know, just something. We have some kind of
Well, I
system
will
where
note that
we
with
switch back and
the
forth.
weather worsening at the moment, it's going to be a bit hard, you would feel, to hear the hoot. But looking through the
Oh,
eyes and things, that obviously, you know, you're 100 foot or the exact distance, it's not a bad idea.
Yeah, just probably a regular, like once a minute, kind of flipping through around 6 seconds, popping back, uh, just kind of throughout the watch.
Grix?
I'm going to practice my hand-to-hand combat with my shadow, basically sparring with it at like quarter speed because controlling myself and my shadow at the same time is not easy, but having most of my attention on the perimeter.
So you guys are going, it sounds like mainly outside. Uh,
Yeah, I'm going to be outside.
I
I'm not
find
going to
it
be in the
quite
tent.
difficult to practice besides in that very large tent that you had taken.
Basically, I was just going to post up near the fire outside and
Okay.
kind of look distracted in case something is watching us, so it'll reveal itself if something's out there, that kind of thing. But being on alert.
All right. Well, with what you guys are taking part in and being a bit more alert from the information relayed from Kreptili and Virik, can each of you give me a perception check? Just a normal roll.
If I'm doing Little May, is
I'm
that
not actually
disadvantage or?
paying attention.
Just Crix and Adashi. But Adashi, what were you asking? You're a little quiet.
Oh, sorry. If that's with Little May, would that be an advantage, or because of the weather, it's
Because of the
just
weather,
straight?
it'll just be normal.
Okay. And that would actually be a 15 because
Mm-hmm.
Little May has a better perception.
Uh, Crix, while you're outside, um, your attention is definitely, I mean, still a bit split. Trying to multitask perhaps isn't necessarily a strong suit for you. However, when you're dueling with your shadow, you will hear a little bit of a and um, can you give me Adashi, this is. Can you give me a dexterity saving throw at advantage as you hear Little May hoot and it echoes, taking just a brief moment to react. Well, you're still prepared for it. You close your eyes, you look through Little May's eyes, and this is when you see a large silhouette of a flying creature making its way towards Little May. You see the talons outstretched. Little May dives down, avoiding the hit. And you just see this creature continue to fly off to the west. Little May looks on with you, like looking through her vision. You see the western horizon illuminating in the purplish hue, leading from the mountain all the way to the south, and then past the Stokeland Mountains far to the north. And then that is where we're going to end tonight's session.
Yeah. So sorry, real quick clarification. The mountain we're going to, I think you said in a previous session, it's part of a range, right? Like it's not like there's just
Mm-hmm.
one mountain by itself.
Yep.
It's technically all part of the Stokelands. It's just kind of
And then there's a valley in the center.
okay, valley there. There's like here's kind of mountains
Mm-hmm.
ish, right? Okay, got it.
But at this point, like, Little May will note that practically the entire western horizon off towards like the Stokeland Mountain range and little bits beyond are illuminating in that purple hue.
Huh. Cool. Good to know. And I guess this is for next time. I can see if I can figure out if I knew what that creature was that tried to get what I'm name.
Oh yes, I'll let you investigate it a little bit more at the beginning of next session, because I'm
Cool.
guessing that there's going to be quite a bit of a discussion, putting now a sound and then a little bit of a sight together as well.
Okay.
Puzzle
Cool.
pieces.
Hmm.
Well, with that, as Adachi breaks his pen,
I actually dropped a D20.
oh, I guess I could have guessed it was a dice.
Oh,
There it goes
D20.
again. Um, does anyone have anything they'd like to share before we get out of here tonight?
Nah, good session.
As always, looking forward to the next one.
Alright, well, hopefully we can pick it up next week, but again, the following week after that, we'll talk about it a bit more in Discord, just for friendly reminders. Will be a day off. So, thank you each for playing. I enjoyed tonight, and look forward to how you guys go about looking at the information gained from tonight, and then also going forward with your goal of attempting to, I almost want to say swindle, but with, at this point, definitely just more persuade, I feel. Since, I mean, you're eventually giving them gifts. Just,
Establish diplomatic ties.
yeah, interesting. But again, thank you each for playing, and we'll see you all next week. Fingers crossed. As long as schedules work out, of course. But everyone have a good night. See you next time.
Night.
Nah.
Next time.
Night.